Hi, this is Deboki, and it's snowing a shit ton outside, so I am just gonna spend my Saturday pre-recording a whole bunch of videos and I guess watching the snow fall while I record them. So if there are moments where I seem like kind of spacey, it's probably because like I am staring directly into an intense snowstorm. Today, for Not My Thesis, my very first Not My Thesis of 2017, I wanted to talk about my resolutions slash kind of themes that I have in mind for 2017. So I don't really often set resolutions. Actually what I started doing 2 years ago is something that I think people call things like intentions or themes. For example, on the For Colored Nerds podcast, they talk about this, I guess, as like an intention for the year. So to give some context, this is a thing, like I said, I'd started doing 2 years ago. So in 2015, my theme for the year was consistency. And I had been kind of coming off of a year where I feel like I had learned a lot about myself. I had gone through therapy, I had gotten married, I had done my prospectus. It was just like a really big year for me. And I felt like I had a lot of clarity about kind of where I wanted to go and kind of what some of the things that I wanted to address in my life were. So I kind of constructed my goals for the 2015 year around this idea of consistency. So these were things like hitting the gym 5 days a week, doing certain things a certain period of time, journaling every day, and just a lot of those kinds of things that I wanted to really integrate into my life and was previously not doing a good job of because I was just like, I want to sit around all day. So obviously this does lead to kind of some more clear resolutions, but the idea is always framed around consistency. And I'll kind of talk about what the difference is to me in the way that I process my goals in that way. In 2016, my theme for the year was mindfulness, and again, kind of the most immediate way to manifest that when I was planning that goal was meditation. Just kind of taking some time out of the day every day to just sit down and process, which didn't go the way that I expected it to. I did not really build a consistent meditation habit, but what I did do, I think, was start to be a lot more open with myself about how different things that I was doing in my life were affecting me and why I was feeling the way that I was feeling about certain things. And some of that is just really mundane stuff, like why I was feeling stressed about my gym schedule. Other things I think are like a little bit deeper and kind of carried on through my goal for this year. Even though these themes lead to what looks like specific resolutions, I don't really consider them resolutions in the same way that I think they're often presented kind of in the world. When I say, for example, that my goal is consistency, and the way that I'm going to implement that is, say, go to the gym 5 days per week. Obviously, you know, especially because it's the gym, it looks like the most cliched resolution of all time. But because I feel like because my goal is consistency more so than the gym thing, I think it gives me a framework that allows me to be a lot more adaptable. So I think when you focus on a theme as opposed to the specific resolutions, you kind of are focusing on the whys of what you want to do, and that makes your hows a lot stronger because you're allowing yourself to fail in certain ways, because it's like, okay, I failed, maybe this week I didn't get to the gym at all because of whatever reason. I didn't hit that mark of consistency that I wanted. So, you know, next week, how do I reframe either my thought process or my plans to hit the goal, the thematic goal, as opposed to just like punishing myself for not going to the gym. I don't know if that difference makes complete sense. I think it is a subtle difference that's made a big difference to me in how I kind of plan my goals for the year and how I actually approach them. I think maybe the mindfulness is more obvious how that manifests, because like I said, when I had originally had this idea of mindfulness in mind, what I really imagined was that, like, you know, one specific like way that I was going to manifest this was meditation, and that did not carry through for whatever reason. That is still a goal of mine, but it just didn't happen in the past year in that way that I had originally intended. But what I did do is I actually started to get a lot more kind of aware of how to use my journal as a tool for mindfulness. So being really a lot more open with myself as I was writing things out. When I was thinking about what my word word for 2017 was going to be, I was thinking of discipline, because I was at a point where I felt like every day I was like coming up with a list of things I needed to do, and I was just not really working with the diligence towards getting those tasks done that I wanted to be. I was like kind of procrastinating or letting my stress get to me. So I had this idea that I was going to go into 2017 and just be like, how do I implement discipline in my life? And I kept thinking about it, but I was also kind of dissatisfied with it. And I think one of the issues is that it kind of felt like this whole theme thing, if the word was going to be discipline, was going to be about fixing myself, or like it felt like kind of like a negative word. Like it felt like I was being deficient in some way. And I think I've done that. Like I think the consistency goal was kind of like along those lines, and I think it did help me a lot. But I think for 2017, I wanted something that felt a little bit more, I don't know, not just like a way to like fix something that's like wrong, but also like to do something that feels like it will help me address those deficiencies, but also maybe lead to some kind of other fulfilling sentiments in my life. So my word is, it's a little bit cheesy, but it's joy. Like I think what I really want to focus on for 2017 is finding things that make me happy, and in the things that I'm doing every day, finding what about them brings me joy. And it's kind of cliche, it's kind of cheesy. I think it's kind of like Marie Kondo-ish, like if you've read Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, you know, finding things that spark joy. And I think a lot of this is because 2017, you know, just kind of looking at all of the months that are to come, I know that it's going to be a really stressful year because I have a lot of transitions that are oncoming. I have a lot of things that feel right now very much out of my control, even though they are also very much a product of things that I've been working on for the past few years. At the same time, I'm like at this kind of, I am at this weird precipice, but I also know that I'm in a really fortunate place, both personally and professionally. I have a lot of things that I am really, really fortunate to have in my life, a lot of people that I'm really fortunate to have as well. And I don't want to ever take that for granted. And so because I know that this year is going to probably be filled with a lot of ups and a lot of downs, because there's just so many things going on. Like I am trying to publish a paper, I am trying to graduate, I'm trying to apply for jobs. My husband and I are trying to figure out a way to, if it not live in the same place, at least live closer to each other. Like there's a lot of things that are up in the air right now, and some things are going to work out well and some things are probably not going to work out well. So I just never want to lose sight of what it is about the things that I have or that I'm doing, that why it is that they make me happy, and also to uncover the things that are making me unhappy and either process ways to reframe my thinking or my approach to make them more positive, or to, you know, maybe find ways to get rid of them. The last few months of 2016, I was not enjoying going to the gym as much, and I really, really like working out. I don't talk about it all the time because it's super boring, but like I lift, I used to do CrossFit. I was doing CrossFit for some time, but one of the issues for me was that I was getting really stressed out trying to balance my schedule in lab with the CrossFit schedule. And so because I'm trying to get so much work done in lab and trying to get so much, like, it just got to a point where I wasn't enjoying the gym as much because I was just spending so much time stressing. So that was something that I had dropped. And then there are things like wasting time online, like wasting time in Reddit, and there are parts of Reddit that I really like and have gotten a lot of value of, and then there are parts of Reddit that are a fucking cesspool and that piss me off. So making sure that I don't go to those cesspool out of some like weird masochistic like desire to witness people being like horrible to each other. Like I need to cut that out. Like I only have so much time, I only have so much energy, like there are other things that I can do in my life. And this is the thing that I think is also coming with me getting older and feeling a lot more comfortable and feeling a lot more upfront about doing things that I'm doing sometimes just for me. Like starting this YouTube channel, I've wanted to start a YouTube channel for a while because it looked like fun, but it also seemed like super self-indulgent, and I was like, I don't want to look like someone who thinks they care about whether or not other people like want to hear them or see them. Like even more so than a blog, I feel like putting your face on a video and like projecting your ideas into the world seems like I said, like self-indulgent, and I just got to a point where I was like, well, I want to do it. And so last year I finally did, and I kind of want to carry that mentality through the next year of going for things that I enjoy. And when I say all of this, my goal is not to come out of next year a happier person, though if that happens, like, that's great. I'm also not coming at this with some kind of Pollyanna perspective where I want to see the best in everything. Like I said, things are gonna suck, and you're always gonna have things that you have to do in your life that you don't want to do. I just want to be able to focus on the things that I'm doing and know that I'm doing them like a way that is positive for my life and that is breeding some kind of happiness in my world, because I think that's beneficial for me. I think it's beneficial for the people around me. I think it makes me more productive, which is great for the people who I'm working for. It makes me a better family member, like I'm a better daughter, a better wife. I think if I'm aware of what it is that I want for myself and the people around me. So it's more about being aware of what makes me happy as opposed to completely cutting out like negativity, because like I said, you're never going to be able to do that completely. Like you can't. Like there are going to be bad things like in your life and the world around you that are just going to always pop up. So yeah, I'm still kind of figuring out the ways that I intend to manifest this, like kind of coming up with concrete goals. Some things that I think are easier to implement are like blocking Reddit, and I really only go to a few subreddits now that I know will not completely piss me off, which has been a productive thing. I think kind of seeking out opportunities that I am really excited about, looking for internships in areas that I'm interested in. Just all of these things I think by focusing on this kind of part of my life and focusing on this theme, I think that gives me a lot more impetus, and it gives me kind of a positive reinforcement on why I want to do these things. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it will happen. This is like I feel like my themes are becoming increasingly like woo-woo-ish, kind of like, I don't know, mindfulness and joy like are the most like new agey kind of themes that I could come up with for 2 years in a row, but I am still excited about it. I think it's just a different way for me to come at 2017, especially off of whatever kind of bullshit was 2016. If you guys set your goals along these themes, or if you set specific resolutions, I'm really curious how other people kind of approach their new year. I know some people are kind of cynical about resolutions, but I just really like the new year. Like a lot of people, it's kind of a, you know, a time point where you just say, you reevaluate things over a certain time course and say, well, what do I want to do going forward? And this kind of approach has helped me in the past few years, and I'm looking forward to seeing what it has to do, what it does for me in 2017. And yeah, bye.